4 cheeses you must eat and 4 you should never touch. You've been warned. You probably have cheese in your fridge right now. It's tucked between the eggs and yogurt. Maybe you use it on toast with a cracker or melt it into soup on chilly days. For many of us, it's been a lifelong comfort. A slice of American cheese in your sandwich, a dollop of cream cheese on your morning bagel, maybe even a fancy wedge of blue cheese when company comes over. But what if I told you? Some of those very cheeses might be quietly aging your heart faster than time itself. Hi, I'm glad you're here, especially if you're over 60 or care about someone who is. Because today we're talking about something that hides in plain sight. Something delicious, familiar, even comforting. But it could be sabotaging your health in ways no doctor ever warned you about. Let me ask you this. Have you been feeling more bloated lately after meals? Do your joints ache more than they used to? Or maybe your blood pressure has crept up a little, even though your diet hasn't really changed. You might think it's just age, or the weather, or maybe you're just slowing down. But the truth is, there's a small, creamy culprit that could be putting strain on your arteries, messing with your blood sugar, and even fogging up your memory. It's cheese. Not all cheese. In fact, some types of cheese can actually protect your bones, nourish your gut, and even help with weight management after 60. But the wrong cheese? It can act like a silent saboteur, raising your risk of stroke, heart disease, and cognitive decline, even if everything else in your diet looks healthy. A 2023 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who ate certain cheeses regularly had a 40% higher chance of developing serious heart issues. Not because of calories, but because of what's hiding inside: processed fats, dangerous molds, synthetic preservatives, and enough sodium to push your blood pressure into the danger zone. And here's the worst part. Many of these cheeses are marketed as healthy, gourmet, or natural. They're on the shelves of every supermarket. Sometimes they even have little green labels that say organic or low fat. But they don't tell you the whole story. That's why today's video is so important. Because it's not about giving up cheese. It's about choosing the right kinds of cheese and learning to spot the ones that quietly do harm, especially once we pass 60. So before we go any further, let me know in the comments, what kind of cheese do you have in your fridge right now? Have you ever noticed bloating, fatigue, or joint pain after a cheesy meal? And if you know someone, a parent, a spouse, a friend, who still loves their grilled cheese or creamy spread, send this video their way. It might change the way they snack forever. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because every week we uncover new research-backed truths to help you live longer, live healthier, and feel better in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Now, are you ready? Because what we're about to share might surprise you. We'll start with the most surprisingly dangerous cheese that's probably sitting in your fridge right now. And don't worry, after that, we'll share the 4 cheeses you should be eating, the ones that can truly support your bones, brain, and heart. Let's get into it. For most of our lives, we've been told a simple truth. Cheese is good for your bones. It's what the commercials said. It's what the school lunches taught us. And many of us believed it because it made sense. Cheese is rich in calcium, right? It must be helping us stay strong. But here's something that may come as a shock. That same cheese you grew up believing was healthy could now be putting your bones, your heart, and even your memory at risk. Let me explain. As we age, especially after 60, our bodies change in ways no one really warns us about. Our metabolism slows down. Our arteries become more sensitive. Our digestive system becomes less tolerant of certain proteins and fats. So even if you ate the same type of cheese at 40 with no problem, it might now be quietly doing damage at 65. Here's something most people don't realize. Cheese is one of the most misunderstood foods in the senior diet. We've lumped it all into one category, dairy, and assumed it's either all good or all bad. But in truth, cheese varies drastically in how it affects your health. Some cheeses are almost medicinal. They contain natural compounds that lower inflammation, help regulate your blood pressure, and support your gut microbiome. But others? They're ultra-processed, loaded with synthetic emulsifiers, artificial phosphates, and salt levels that can spike your blood pressure faster than a plate of fast food. Some even contain mold-based toxins that are especially dangerous when your body's natural detox systems start to slow down with age. And yet, you won't hear about this from your doctor. Why? Because most medical checkups don't include a breakdown of your refrigerator, and the dangers of cheese don't show up clearly on your blood tests, at least not until the damage is done. Here's what's even more surprising. In a recent nutritional study from Europe, researchers found that the type of cheese mattered more than the quantity. Seniors who ate small amounts of the wrong cheese, like blue cheese or cream cheese, had more heart issues than those who ate larger amounts of better cheeses like goat or Swiss. The reason? It comes down to three simple but powerful things. The structure of the fats. Processed cheeses often contain long-chain saturated fats that are hard to break down and more likely to clog arteries, especially if your metabolism is slowing with age. The salt-to-calcium ratio. Some cheeses, like American or processed spreads, are loaded with salt but low in absorbable calcium, which can actually weaken your bones over time. Toxic fermentation byproducts. Certain aged or moldy cheeses release tyramine and histamine, which can cause migraines, erratic blood pressure, and even heart palpitations, particularly in older adults. So no, cheese isn't bad, but the kind of cheese you eat after 60 can either be your secret weapon or your silent saboteur. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. The cheeses that are often marketed as gourmet or rich in flavor, like blue cheese or creamy spreads, are often the most harmful, while those that are plain-looking, modest, or even crumbly, like goat cheese or feta, can actually deliver powerful health benefits. It's completely backwards from what we've been led to believe. But now that you know this, you have the power to make a change, to stop letting outdated advice and clever marketing dictate your diet, and start choosing foods that match your stage of life. So don't worry. You won't have to give up the pleasure of cheese. In fact, in the next part, I'll introduce you to a real person, someone just like you, whose life transformed after making just a few small swaps in the cheese aisle. It's a story I think you'll relate to deeply. And it might just be the motivation you need to take that next step toward better energy, clearer memory, and a stronger heart. Are you ready? Walter James was the kind of man who never got sick. That's what everyone said. He was a retired cardiologist from Boston, known for his quiet charm and crisp white shirts. At 79, he still walked to the corner cafe every morning, waved at the same neighbors, and read the Boston Globe with a side of toast, jam, and his favorite cheese spread. His wife, Evelyn, had passed away 5 years earlier. Since then, Walter had kept his meals simple: soup, sandwiches, the occasional glass of red wine, and always cheese. It reminded him of her. "I don't need much," he'd say with a smile. "Just a good book and a little something creamy." But that smile started to fade. It began subtly. Walter would forget the names of people he knew for years. He'd wake up feeling groggy, even after a full night's sleep. His hands, once steady enough to perform surgeries, now trembled when buttoning his shirt. He chalked it up to age. Who wouldn't? But one morning, a chilly Thursday in October, everything changed. Walter was preparing his breakfast. He reached for the jar of cheese spread, the same one he'd used for over a decade. As he twisted the lid, a wave of dizziness hit him so hard he had to sit down. His vision blurred, his ears rang, and for the first time in his life, he couldn't remember if he'd already taken his heart pills, or even where they were. It scared him. His daughter, Rachel, found him an hour later, still at the table, disoriented, his toast untouched. That afternoon, she drove him to see a neurologist. Then came blood work, an MRI, a follow-up with a geriatric dietitian. And what they uncovered shocked everyone. Walter's arteries were showing signs of accelerated calcification. His blood pressure was dangerously high. And his recent memory issues, likely linked to low vitamin B12 absorption, inflammation, and poor vascular circulation in the brain. "But I eat well," he protested. Then the dietitian looked at his food journal. She circled one word over and over again: cheese. "Walter, she said gently. Your cheese habits, especially those processed spreads and blue cheeses, they're not doing your heart or your brain any favors. At your age, your body can't metabolize them like it used to. He felt betrayed. How could something so small, so routine, be doing such damage? Rachel was the one who dug deeper. She started researching late into the night, reading studies, watching health videos, even printing off articles from European nutrition journals. She brought them to Walter, who, though reluctant at first, started to listen. Together, they made a plan. Out went the cheese spread, the blue cheese, the American slices he'd loved since college. In came goat cheese, Swiss, and feta. They swapped processed snacks for simple Mediterranean meals, roasted vegetables, olive oil, and soft goat cheese crumbles. And within 3 months, something remarkable happened. Walter's blood pressure normalized, his morning fog lifted, and one crisp winter morning, as he sat with his new breakfast of whole-grain toast, arugula, and warm goat cheese, he looked up at Rachel and said, "I feel like I'm waking up from a long sleep. Now, I'm not telling you this story to scare you. I'm sharing it because it's not too late." Walter thought his diet was just fine. He thought a little cheese here and there couldn't possibly hurt. He was a doctor, after all. But what he learned, what he wants you to know, is that the body after 60 plays by different rules. The cheese that nourished you once might now be quietly working against you. But the good news? You can change your story, just like Walter. And if you're wondering what cheeses to avoid, and which ones to embrace, stay with me. In the next section, we'll go through them one by one, starting with the hidden dangers that might be lurking in your fridge right now. The 4 dangerous cheeses to avoid. Processed cheese spreads, stroke on a plate. They come in little foil-wrapped triangles, or plastic tubs. Some even arrive in bright yellow jars that promise easy spreading and kid-friendly flavor. But if you're over 60, here's the truth nobody tells you. These processed cheese spreads are some of the most dangerous foods you can keep in your fridge. They may look harmless. They may taste familiar. They may melt easily into your favorite toast or sandwich. But the truth lies in what they're made of and what they do to your body as you age. Let's take a look inside a single triangle. It contains emulsifiers, artificial phosphates, preservatives, stabilizers, and salt. Lots of salt. Add to that saturated fats, synthetic colorants, and in some cases, even trans fats. Yes, the kind that many countries have banned. Now imagine putting that into a body where the kidneys are already working harder due to age. The arteries are naturally stiffening. The immune system is more vulnerable. The metabolism has slowed down. That's a toxic combination. In fact, a study cited by the National Kidney Foundation found that artificial phosphates in processed cheese spreads can dramatically worsen kidney function in older adults, even in those who thought their kidneys were fine. These additives confuse the body, reduce calcium absorption, and may even speed up arterial hardening, the exact opposite of what we want as we get older. But there's more. Processed cheese spreads often contain sodium phosphate, which is linked to inflammation, mineral imbalances, and vascular damage. These aren't theories, they're documented risks in scientific journals, especially concerning those over 60. Still think that soft little triangle is harmless? Let's talk about real life. Eleanor, age 71, used to spread cheese from a jar on her breakfast toast every morning. It reminded her of childhood, simple, creamy, comforting. But she couldn't explain why her blood pressure kept creeping up, why her ankles swelled, or why her doctor warned her about early signs of kidney stress. It wasn't until a nutritionist asked her to track her food, every bite, every spread, that the culprit became clear. She stopped the cheese spread. Within 4 weeks, her swelling reduced. Her blood pressure dropped. And for the first time in a year, her energy came back. She didn't even change the rest of her diet, just removed the spreads. Here's what makes this cheese even more dangerous. It fools you. It's soft, so it seems gentle. It's easy to eat, so it feels innocent. But nutritionally, It's one of the most aggressive substances you can put in your body after 60. So what should you do? If you've got processed cheese spreads in your fridge right now, check the label. Look for ingredients like sodium phosphate. Artificial coloring, e.g., yellow number 5 or number 6, monosodium glutamate, MSG, partially hydrogenated oils. If any of those show up, it's time to let them go. You deserve better, because no bite of cheese, no matter how nostalgic, is worth risking a stroke, kidney damage, or years of preventable inflammation. Cream cheese, the fat bomb in disguise soft, spreadable, silky smooth. Cream cheese is that comforting swipe on your morning bagel, the secret to your holiday cheesecake, or the base of your favorite dip at family gatherings. But for those of us over 60, cream cheese might be doing far more harm than we realize. Let's start with what most people don't see when they open that silver-wrapped block. A single serving of cream cheese, just 2 tablespoons, contains up to 10 grams of fat, and nearly all of it is saturated. That's more than half the recommended daily limit for older adults. And unlike the healthy fats found in olive oil or avocado, this type of saturated fat can increase LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, promote fat storage, especially around the belly, aggravate insulin resistance, a silent condition that can lead to type 2 diabetes. But that's just the beginning. Cream cheese is also extremely low in protein. It doesn't nourish your muscles, support your bones, or stabilize your blood sugar. It's a high-fat, low-nutrition food. And that imbalance becomes a serious problem as your metabolism slows with age. Now, let's talk about contamination risk, something most people never think about. Because cream cheese is soft and moist, it's a perfect breeding ground for dangerous bacteria, especially Listeria, a silent but deadly threat to older adults. Listeria can lurk in soft cheeses left out too long at brunch tables, buffet spreads, or even in your fridge if it's not consistently cold. And unlike a stomach bug, Listeria can go much deeper, causing sepsis, meningitis, or even death in seniors with weakened immune systems. Just ask Marion, age 67. She loved having a cinnamon raisin bagel with sweet cream cheese every morning. It felt like a treat, she said. But her doctor couldn't figure out why her blood sugar was climbing, why her memory was foggy, and why her waistline was expanding even though she wasn't eating that much. A dietitian helped her take a closer look. That sweetened cream cheese? It not only had hidden sugars and flavored oils, but also spiked her insulin. Her body, already dealing with postmenopausal changes, couldn't handle the metabolic hit. She swapped it for a protein-rich cottage cheese with herbs. Within 2 months, she lost 6 pounds, her sugar stabilized, and her afternoon brain fog disappeared. What's the takeaway? Cream cheese may feel soft, but it hits your health hard. Especially the flavored varieties, like honey, walnut, or strawberry, which often contain added sugars, artificial thickeners, hidden sodium, sweetened oils. If it spreads like a dream, it might be a nightmare for your metabolism, heart, and brain. What can you do instead? Use a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt mixed with herbs as a savory spread. Try ricotta cheese for a creamy texture with better protein balance. Or go for avocado mash with lemon for healthy fats your body actually knows how to use. Your breakfast and your heart will thank you. 3. Blue cheese, the hidden mold that may be harming your brain. It's the cheese of refined taste. A little crumbled over a salad, paired with red wine, served at upscale dinner parties. But once you pass the age of 60, blue cheese may no longer be the elegant indulgence you think it is. In fact, it could quietly become one of the most dangerous things on your plate. Let's start with the obvious. Blue cheese is moldy, on purpose. That marbled appearance? It comes from penicillium mold, a living fungus that gives blue cheese its sharp flavor and creamy veined texture. And while younger, healthier bodies can often digest this mold without a problem, older bodies struggle more. Here's why. As we age, enzyme production declines, especially in the liver and digestive tract. That makes it harder to break down compounds like tyramine and histamine, both of which are abundant in blue cheese. What happens when these chemicals build up? Migraines, high blood pressure spikes, heart palpitations, anxiety and dizziness. And in more serious cases, even arrhythmias and ER visits. In fact, a 2023 study published in Food Chemistry showed that tyramine sensitivity is significantly higher in adults over 60, especially those on medications for blood pressure or mood regulation. Still think a few crumbles are harmless? Let's talk about Jean, age 73. She was an artist, always full of color and personality. She loved her blue cheese salads and crackers in the afternoon. But she couldn't explain why her head started pounding after meals, or why she sometimes felt dizzy just standing up. Her doctor checked everything: blood work, MRI, medication review, but nothing explained her symptoms, until a nutritionist asked, "Have you changed anything in your diet lately?" Jean had started adding more blue cheese after seeing it recommended for its calcium. But once she removed it, the migraines disappeared. The pressure in her chest eased, and the ringing in her ears that she thought was just aging, gone within a month. That's the subtle danger of mold-based cheeses like Blue. They sneak up on you. And that's not the only risk. Blue cheese, especially if soft, unpasteurized, or left unrefrigerated, carries a much higher chance of listeria contamination. For healthy young people, it might just cause a stomachache. But for seniors, listeria can lead to blood infections, brain inflammation, or worse. And if you're already dealing with kidney problems, blue cheese adds insult to injury. With over 400 milliliters of sodium per ounce, it's one of the saltiest cheeses out there, pushing your blood pressure and fluid retention to dangerous levels. So what should you look out for? If the cheese has a marbled blue or green mold, a pungent fermented smell, been sitting at room temperature for more than 2 hours, then it's time to say goodbye. There are safer, smarter ways to add flavor, without risking your brain, blood pressure, or balance. 4. American cheese, the childhood favorite that could be aging your heart. It's melted on burgers, folded into grilled cheese, wrapped in shiny plastic sheets in nearly every grocery store in the country. American cheese isn't just food. For many, it's nostalgia. But if you're over 60, it's time to ask yourself a hard question. Is that nostalgia worth your heart? Let's start with the truth that surprises most people. American cheese is not really cheese. Legally, it's classified as a processed cheese product. That means it's made from cheese scraps, mixed with milk proteins, emulsifiers, food dyes, and preservatives, then molded into those neat little yellow squares we all know so well. Sounds harmless? Let's dig deeper. One slice of American cheese can contain over 400 milliliters of sodium, nearly 20% of your daily limit, sodium citrate and phosphate additives that strain the kidneys. Artificial dyes like yellow number 5 and number 6, flagged in studies for their impact on cognition and inflammation, emulsifiers that may disrupt gut bacteria. For someone over 60, that's a metabolic landmine. The gut microbiome, your body's internal defense system, naturally becomes more fragile with age. Throw in emulsifiers like carrageenan or sodium phosphate, and you could end up with bloating and indigestion. Weakened immunity, increased inflammation throughout the body. And here's where it gets even more serious. Those same phosphate additives used to give American cheese its smooth melt also interfere with your body's ability to absorb calcium. The result? Weaker bones, faster arterial calcification, and a higher risk of fractures or heart disease. All from a slice of cheese that barely feels like food. Just ask Leon, age 69. He had no idea his daily lunch, a grilled cheese sandwich with American slices, was slowly pushing his blood pressure into the danger zone. It wasn't until his doctor warned him about early-stage kidney decline that he began to take a closer look. Just cheese, he shrugged. But when the dietitian explained what was really in those slices, he was stunned. He switched to real Swiss, added tomatoes, used whole grain bread. 3 months later, not only had his blood pressure improved, he said he had more energy in the afternoon than he'd had in years. That's the thing about American cheese. It's easy, familiar, cheap, but for older adults it comes at a hidden cost. So what can you do? Replace American slices with real cheese, Swiss, mozzarella, or goat. Skip the single-wrapped versions and go for block or deli cuts. If it doesn't say 100% real cheese, put it back. You don't need to give up grilled cheese sandwiches or melty goodness. You just need to choose ingredients that honor the strength and sensitivity of your body after 60. The 4 cheeses you should eat after 60. 1. Goat cheese. The creamy healer for heart, brain, and gut. It's smooth, it's rich, it's tangy. And for those over 60, goat cheese might just be the secret weapon your body has been waiting for. Let's start with why this cheese stands out, not just in flavor but in function. Unlike cow's milk cheese, goat cheese contains short and medium-chain fatty acids. What does that mean for you? It means your body digests it faster, your liver processes it more efficiently. It's less likely to be stored as body fat. That's especially important after 60 when your metabolism slows and your digestive resilience decreases. Goat cheese is also naturally lower in lactose and contains a different type of casein protein, making it much easier on your stomach. For many seniors who feel bloated or gassy after dairy, goat cheese can be a gentle, welcome alternative. But digestion is just the beginning. Let's talk about the anti-inflammatory power of goat cheese. It's loaded with probiotics, which help balance your gut microbiome, omega-3 fatty acids, which support brain and heart health, selenium, a trace mineral that protects your cells from aging. And one more nutrient often overlooked: zinc, critical for wound healing, immune defense, and maintaining your sense of taste and smell. Take Tomoko, age 66, a retired schoolteacher from California. She used to wake up with joint stiffness and bloating after breakfast. When a friend suggested switching from her usual cheddar to goat cheese, she gave it a try, crumbling a small amount onto her eggs and veggies. Within a month, not only did her digestion improve, but her morning stiffness decreased. "It felt like I had more energy," she said, "more space to move in my own body." Now here's the bonus. Goat cheese doesn't just help you feel better, it protects your brain. That creamy texture, it's not just indulgent. It contains a form of vitamin A that plays a direct role in memory and cognitive sharpness. Combined with the healthy fats inside, goat cheese supports neural function in ways many other cheeses can't. Some emerging studies are even exploring how nutrient-rich dairy like goat cheese may help delay the onset of Alzheimer's and reduce age-related cognitive decline. And perhaps best of all, it's versatile. Spread it on whole grain toast with sliced cucumbers. Crumble it into salads for richness without heaviness. Mix it into scrambled eggs or roasted veggies for a satisfying, low-lactose meal. This isn't about sacrificing flavor. It's about embracing a cheese that loves you back, one that supports your heart, gut, and brain in ways you can feel. If you've never tried goat cheese, now is the perfect time. And if you've already made the switch, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what recipes you've discovered. The Swiss cheese, the gentle powerhouse for bones, blood pressure, and brain. It's subtle, nutty, full of little holes and humble charm, but don't let its simplicity fool you. Swiss cheese is a nutritional powerhouse, especially for people over 60. Let's begin with one of its most underrated features. It's one of the lowest sodium cheeses you can buy. Just 54 milligrams of sodium per ounce. That's 75% less than most hard cheeses. And for seniors managing high blood pressure, heart issues, or fluid retention, that's not just a bonus, it's a lifesaver. But the benefits go far beyond salt. Swiss cheese is also one of the most digestible cheeses for older adults. That's thanks to its long, natural aging process, which breaks down lactose almost entirely. So if milk or soft cheeses have ever made you feel bloated, gassy, or uncomfortable, Swiss might be your perfect match. Now let's talk about your bones. With about 220 milligrams of calcium per ounce, Swiss cheese supports bone density at a time when many seniors are losing it. But more importantly, it also contains a rare vitamin that helps direct calcium to the right places. Vitamin K2. Produced during fermentation, K2 is essential for shuttling calcium away from arteries, where it causes hardening, depositing it into bones and teeth where it strengthens your frame. And that's huge, because many calcium supplements don't come with K2, making them far less effective. Swiss cheese gives you both naturally. Let's not forget the brain. Swiss is rich in vitamin B12, offering around 16% of your daily needs per ounce. And after 60, B12 absorption becomes harder, which can lead to memory issues, fatigue, or even depression. Swiss helps fill that gap, and does it in a way that tastes like comfort, not medicine. Take Louis, age 70, a retired bus driver from New Jersey. He loved his grilled cheese sandwiches but started getting dizzy spells and digestive problems in his mid-60s. His doctor suspected lactose intolerance and urged him to try cutting back on dairy. Instead, Louis switched to aged Swiss. He used whole grain bread, a slice of tomato, and a thin layer of mustard. Within weeks, his dizziness faded. His gut felt lighter. And best of all, "I didn't feel like I gave up anything," he said. "I just upgraded." And here's something you may not know. The holes in Swiss cheese, they're not just for looks. They're created by gas-producing bacteria that actually help pre-digest the cheese, making it even easier for your body to absorb the nutrients. It's like your digestive system gets a head start at a time in life when every bit of support helps. So if you're looking for a cheese that is low in sodium, supports healthy bones and brain, is gentle on digestion, then Swiss cheese deserves a place in your fridge. It's humble, it's helpful, and it might just be the smartest cheese choice you can make after 60. 3. Feta, the tangy crumble that nourishes your gut and muscles. Salty, crumbly, bright with flavor. Feta might not look like a superfood, but if you're over 60, it offers a quiet kind of power, one that supports your gut, your muscles, and your immunity with every little sprinkle. Let's start with where it comes from. Unlike most cheeses made from cow's milk, feta is traditionally made from sheep's milk, or a mix of sheep and goat. That makes it lower in lactose. Easier to digest, more compatible with aging digestive systems, but the benefits go deeper. Feta cheese contains a unique structure of easily absorbable proteins, exactly the kind of protein your body needs to maintain muscle mass as you age. That matters, because after 60, your muscle mass begins to decline, often silently. It becomes harder to stay balanced, harder to carry groceries, harder to feel energetic. Adding just a small amount of high-quality protein, like that in feta, can help reverse that decline. Now let's talk about the gut. Feta is rich in probiotics, friendly bacteria that help restore the balance of your microbiome, which often gets disrupted in later life by medications, stress, or a weakened immune system. And when your gut is happy, so is your body. You'll notice less bloating, more regular digestion, improved immune function, and even better mood and mental clarity. Just ask Cynthia, age 72, a former librarian from Oregon. She used to skip lunch entirely because meals left her feeling heavy and sluggish. But when her grandson introduced her to a Mediterranean bowl with greens, quinoa, roasted veggies, and a sprinkle of feta, something changed. "It was light," she said, "but filling. I felt good afterward, and I started looking forward to lunch again." Within a few weeks, Cynthia noticed less stomach pain, more energy in the afternoons, and even fewer colds during winter. All from a simple tangy crumble. And don't worry about the salt. While feta can be salty, rinsing it under water for just 30 seconds can reduce sodium by up to 30% without losing flavor. Or choose low-sodium feta options, which are becoming more available at health-focused stores. What's more, feta delivers calcium for bones, vitamin B12 for brain and nerve function, and a satisfying flavor that lets you use less cheese overall, which helps with weight management. Because it's strong in taste, you don't need much. A small amount brings big benefits and encourages natural portion control. Try this: crumble feta over roasted sweet potatoes. Add to a spinach salad with olives and lemon dressing. Toss with cucumbers and mint for a refreshing anti-inflammatory snack. Feta isn't just cheese. It's a bridge to better digestion, stronger muscles, and a more joyful relationship with food, especially in later life. Fresh mozzarella, the soft white wonder that soothes your body from the inside out, mild, milky, comforting. Fresh mozzarella isn't just a favorite in Italian kitchens. It's one of the gentlest, most nourishing cheeses you can choose after 60. But not all mozzarella is created equal. We're not talking about the pre-shredded kind in plastic bags full of preservatives and anti-caking agents. We're talking about fresh, soft mozzarella, especially the kind made from buffalo milk. This kind of mozzarella has a unique profile, low in sodium, lower in saturated fat than hard cheeses, high in moisture and easy to digest. And that's just the start. One of its greatest strengths lies in its balance of calcium and phosphorus, two minerals that work together to support bone density, nerve signaling, and muscle function. But fresh mozzarella also contains something rare and powerful, bioactive peptides. These are natural compounds formed during fermentation that have been shown to lower blood pressure, reduce inflammation, support healthy vascular function. And yes, these effects are even more pronounced in older adults whose arteries may be stiffening and whose joints may be inflamed. Let's look at Barbara, age 75. She was a retired nurse who'd recently been diagnosed with osteoarthritis. Her hands ached while doing even simple tasks. She'd given up most cheeses, thinking dairy was the problem, until her dietitian suggested trying a caprese salad made with buffalo mozzarella, fresh tomatoes, basil, and olive oil. It became her lunch 3 times a week. 6 weeks later, Barbara reported fewer arthritis flare-ups, better digestion, and even sharper vision, thanks in part to the high levels of vitamin A and zinc in buffalo milk mozzarella. But fresh mozzarella's benefits aren't just physical. It's a deeply satisfying cheese, rich enough to feel indulgent, yet light enough to avoid the heavy, bloated feeling that comes with more processed varieties. And its mild flavor makes it incredibly versatile. Slice onto tomatoes with basil and balsamic melt over grilled zucchini or eggplant, add to a sandwich with whole grain bread and leafy greens, or enjoy as a simple snack with olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. One more thing. Mozzarella contains a significant amount of conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, a fatty acid that may help your body burn fat more efficiently and reduce chronic inflammation. So if you're dealing with arthritis, digestive issues, or weight concerns, this cheese can be part of the solution. It's not just food, it's functional. And it proves that you don't have to give up comfort to protect your body. You just have to choose better comfort. Let's take a moment. Think back to your last grocery run. Did you grab a slice of comfort? A creamy spread? Something you've always loved, not realizing it may have changed as your body changed? You're not alone. For most of our lives, we make food choices based on habit, not health. We choose what's easy, what tastes good, what we grew up believing was harmless, or even helpful. But after 60, the rules change. Your heart is more sensitive to salt and fat. Your kidneys can't process synthetic additives the way they used to. And your brain? It needs the right kind of nourishment more than ever. The cheeses you once enjoyed without a second thought may now be quietly pushing your body in the wrong direction. But here's the good news. You have options. Beautiful, flavorful, healing options. Goat cheese that supports your gut and brain. Swiss that strengthens your bones and lowers blood pressure. Feta that fuels your muscles and balances your microbiome. And fresh mozzarella, that creamy, comforting choice that doesn't weigh you down. These aren't sacrifices. They're upgrades. Subtle shifts that work with your body, not against it. And best of all, they're delicious. No guilt, no complicated rules. Just mindful swaps that help you feel lighter, sharper, and more in control of your health every day. So here's what I invite you to do. Take a look in your fridge today. Find the cheeses we've talked about, the ones with long labels, artificial colors, or that too good to be real shelf life. If you see a tub, a triangle, a plastic-wrapped slice that you now realize might be doing more harm than good, give yourself permission to let it go. Then make room for something better. And when you take that first bite of goat cheese on toast, or crumble that feta into your salad, or slice into fresh mozzarella with ripe tomatoes and basil, I want you to remember this. You're not just eating differently, you're living differently. You're choosing to care for your heart, your bones, your brain. You're choosing life. Not just more years, but better years. So share this video with someone you love. Someone who still believes that cheese is just cheese. Someone who might need a gentle nudge, the same one you just received. And if this resonated with you, if you learned something new today, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Tell me which cheese surprised you the most, or which one you're excited to try. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because we're just getting started on this journey to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life after 60. You're not too old to change. You're just wise enough to do it better.